All right, Gary's giving me the signal. We're good to go. Hi, everybody. My name is Garrett Schieferstein. I am the full-time director of Esports at Manchester University. I'm originally from Decatur, Indiana, and I'm a Manchester alum. I graduated from Manchester in the spring of 2019. Got a job in construction job site management. Hated it. Worked there for 2 months, and then came back to the university to help our new esports program. So esports was created in the fall of 2019. I came back and worked as an admissions counselor, helped grow the program, and then over the next few years I was promoted to the full-time director of esports, and now it is my full-time career job to run our esports program. A lot of people ask, what is esports? The shortest way to explain it is esports is competitive video games. Just like how Manchester University has an athletics program with a basketball team, football team, and a wrestling team, we now have an esports program, which is separate from athletics, that has a League of Legends team, Valorant team, Overwatch, Super Smash Bros., Rocket League, and Fortnite rosters. So my job, I do basically very similar things to what an athletic director would do in our day-to-day jobs. So everything from recruiting, managing our facilities, competition, budgeting, travel, working with our kids, our players. They're not kids anymore, they're full-grown adults. But you know, college kids with their schedules and practices and match times, all that kind of stuff. So these are two of my captains. They're both sophomores. They'll get to talk to you guys here in a bit, but this here is Clay Stoltz. They are the captain of our Super Smash Bros. Team, and then Ben Schlarb, who is the captain of our Valorant team. So esports at Manchester, we are a varsity level program. So we're just as official, and we're just officially recognized as athletics. We're just our own separate branch under student life. So we don't have to abide by any of those NCAA D3 rules or regulations, those pesky regulations, right? No one likes those. Say that again? They do not, no. So curriculum's actually changed a lot at the university. I don't believe PE credits are required. They were required when I was a student. I had to take like golf and walking and nature hiking. I don't think you guys do anymore. No, so that's a different presentation though, right? Yeah, so esports, we do have an on-campus esports lab. If you're familiar with campus, this is in the basement of Calvin Ulrey now. Used to be the Student Activity Center, then it was changed to the marketing office. And then after COVID, marketing went online, and we were able to take over this space. It's 2,800 square feet. We have 28 computers in the main lab for our students to use. This lab is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, only accessible to the 110 students that we have within our esports program. 110 students are at Manchester to play esports across those 6 games. So this room is their playground. This is where that they can come in between classes, get a few games in. It's where they have official practices. Usually they have about 6 to 8 hours of official practice per week, and then plus another 2 hours of game time each week. And we have all those here in person. Really good way to get them out of their rooms, get to know people that have similar interests to them. A lot of our players will come to college not really knowing anybody, being pretty socially introverted. And then within a couple of weeks of being in the esports program, they just meet other kids and other players that have those same interests, and they kick it off. And then that's their group that they go out and go get lunch and dinner, go to stuff in town, go to Fort Wayne, sit with in class. It's a really nice introduction to the social world of college. So I talk about we're competitive. We play against other schools. So just like how our baseball team just won conference, we have conferences that we participate in. Most of our regular season matches are done online. So if we play Trine, we will play from the Manchester Esports Lab. Trine will play from Angola, and we just play each other online. But we do have stuff like conference championships and playoffs that are all held in person. And I'll get into those here in a bit. So these are our 2 different conferences. On the left, we have NACE, or the National Association of Collegiate Esports. That's a large national, obviously, conference where teams are divided based on skill level instead of school size. So like our Super Smash Bros. Team has been one of the top 10 teams in the nation overall in the last 4 years, regardless of school size. So we'll play against Michigan State, we'll play against schools like Oakland University, Stony Brook. What are some other super big schools that we play? A lot of the really big schools don't have very good esports programs. Lubbock Christian. We'll play teams from across the United States in that conference. Yeah. How many schools in that? About 200 to 300 in NACE. Yes. So yeah, out of 200 to 300 schools, our Super Smash Bros. Team is top 10 in that conference. I always compare NACE to the NCAA as a whole if you're looking for an athletic equivalent. But instead of school-based divisions, it's just skill-based divisions. And then the GLEC, or Great Lakes Esports Conference, this is your regional small school conference that we also compete in. If you're comparing it to athletics, it'd be like the HCAC for the university, or like Big Ten for Ohio State or Purdue or something like that. So this is 24 schools throughout Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, and Illinois that compete in the Great Lakes Esports Conference. And this is varsity only, so it's just our top team. Our Super Smash Bros. Team has won the GLEC 8 times. They have a total conference record of 120 wins and 3 losses. So Clay hasn't been here for all of them. Clay's only a sophomore here. But Clay, you've lost like, what, 2 matches in history in GLEC? Before that, we'd lost 1. One of those losses was in a championship game, so one other team does have a championship. We've won 8 of 9. But we got our run back and we got revenge in the spring. We took them down 9-0. Our other teams also have really good success. Ben's team that he captains, the Valorant team, they got 2nd place in the fall, which was a huge improvement. They were they were probably expected to get around 6th, 7th, 8th, around that range. They upset the defending champions in the semifinals and made it to the grand finals, where they did lose 0-3 in the grand finals, but huge improvement for the Valorant team there. And then in the fall of 2023, our League of Legends team took 2nd place in this conference too. So again, 24 schools with official esports programs, and 3 of our teams are in the top 4 of that conference every year. So middle picture, this is from a year ago. This was us at our GLEC LAN event. LAN event is just an in-person tournament. Very fun way to get out, travel. A lot of these LANs have been held in Columbus, Ohio. The last couple have been in South Bend, Indiana at big convention centers. And then on the right there, we did win the Michigan division this last year. And then we combined with the Ohio division for GLEC. So we do like different graphics and fancy pictures that are fun that we post out for everyone to recognize our team and their success. And Ben's pose is he covers one eye and points at you. All right. A really cool thing about winning the GLEC every year is, just like in NCAA basketball, all of the small school divisions get automatic bids to the national championship tournament, which is called the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup, or CECC. This is held in Arlington, Texas every year, shares a parking lot with AT&T Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play. So it's a really, really fun event. We fly out our varsity Smash team. I'm hoping to fly out the Valorant team next year, when/if you guys win GLEC. But the university pays for all the expenses, out of our varsity program. So they get to walk the red carpet, they get interviewed. They didn't get to play up on the stage because we didn't make it too far this year. We got 17th out of 24 this year at nationals. Last year we got 9th nationally. So a bit of a down year for us, but down year for making the national championship, getting 16th. We're very spoiled there. All right, so lots of fun travel events for us. We do more than just focus on the college aspect. IEN stands for Indiana Esports Network. This is a network of probably around 80 to 90 high schools and middle schools throughout the state of Indiana that compete in their own leagues. And we serve on the Collegiate Advisory Committee there. So we recruit the students, we help them find a good match for college, we give them scholarships to play esports at Manchester, and we do stuff like official signings. So we have 2 of our incoming freshmen, Bailey and Gary. We went to Concord and did official signings. They have actual legally binding signing contracts to show that they've received financial assistance for their skills and signed them to the university. We also do events with Walk Into Our Future at the university, which is local. I believe it's like 2nd through 5th graders. I'm not sure on the grades. But they come and we introduce them to the world of esports. A lot of them like more of the basic kid-based games. And it's a great way to still connect with community kids that way. So we're doing more than just playing games ourselves. We're connecting with the local high schools, middle schools, and elementary schools through IEN. And a lot of people may ask, why are we doing this, right? Esports is new. Like, I graduated in 2019. There wasn't an esports team when I was there. I wish there was, but there wasn't. It's so new. And Manchester's esports team is actually the 3rd oldest program in the state of Indiana. Right now, most small schools have it, and a lot of bigger schools are coming around to the idea of having collegiate esports. But esports is very valuable. all of the students within esports learn real life skills that you'd learn in traditional athletics. Stuff like leadership. These guys are captains. They're in charge of their rosters, making sure that they're on time, making sure that they're staying focused, that they're grinding their games and improving. Not every day is your best day. You're going to lose matches. How do you rally your team behind to get it, to achieve a certain goal? Just like in life, not every day is going to be great. You got to learn how to get over those humps and proceed forward to work towards a common goal. Communication is huge in esports. You have to efficiently communicate quickly. Ben will go over that in his situation. You have split-second decisions that need made, and your team is usually in charge of giving you that information to make those decisions. So these are all real lifelong skills that you learn in esports. You just get fewer concussions than you do in like football and basketball. Maybe a little bit of a wrist injury here or there, but that's about it. All right. Esports, it's also fun. These guys will have lifelong friendships. It really helps them push to graduate. We have academic requirements, so to stay eligible to compete, you have to keep your grades up, which is really good at pushing them towards graduation and getting that degree. We have a lot of kids who wouldn't be in college or getting degrees if we didn't have an esports program. It gives them that incentive to pursue that higher education. Also, it's just what they love to do. Passion and competition is really most of it, right? I grew up playing athletics my entire life. I wasn't good enough to play in high school, so I had that competitive drive inside of me, and I turned to video games as my competitive outlet. And I competed in college just unofficially for the university, and it's very similar to these guys where they grew up maybe playing sports, but esports is what they are good at, and that's how they outlet their competitiveness and practice, improve, and compete against others. It's fun. It's what they love to do. They spend 40, 50, maybe sometimes 60 hours a week playing their games and competing, striving to get better. I've talked about scholarships a few times. This is the shocking one to a lot of people. We pay them to play esports here. They currently each get $3,000 per year scholarships to attend the university to play these games for us. We usually even give out a base $1,000 level to even students just to walk on and play the games. So they've put hundreds to thousands of hours into these games, and we compensate them with a partial scholarship to the university. All right. Any questions so far? Yeah.
I am curious about the scholarships, because I understand athletic scholarships from NCAA. How do they give esports?
So because we are not under athletics, we are not bound by the NCAA. Those two leagues that we play in are not under the NCAA at all, and we probably never will be. Because it's really complicated with esports. No one owns the game of football, right? No company owns football, so the NCAA can do that. Well, companies own these games that we play. So the companies won't let the NCAA run leagues for them. They will let our partner conferences, but they won't let the NCAA. So we'll never be under the NCAA, so we don't have to listen to D3 rules and regulations there. Now the university, if they wanted to, I could give out full rides if the university told me I can, which I never will be, right, unfortunately. But there are some schools that do give out full rides to basically professional level players that come and will play in collegiate. And basically it is a recruiting tool. So like these two were both big recruits out of high school, probably talked to plenty of other different colleges, and it's a tool for me like, hey, I will give you this money if you come play for me. You're a really good player, I want you to come play for me. Here's this scholarship, come here. And I'm sure they got different scholarship offers from other schools, and I'm thankful that they chose us. So the scholarships is a really big recruiting tool for us. Yeah?
Are there any similarities in what esports players tend to major in?
The majority of esports players usually focused around like software engineering. Clay, here's a software engineering major for us. We have a lot of recruits that talk to us that are interested in engineering, traditional engineering or cybersecurity, things that we don't offer at the university, so I don't recruit those students. But there is still a good mix. Definitely software engineering is the focus, but Ben here is a business management student focusing in esports management as a minor, which we'll talk about here in a bit too. We have biochem students, we have education majors. Those two guys actually there that are in their cap and gown from last year, one was an elementary education major, the other was a secondary English education major, and now they both run high school esports programs. The one on the left there, his high school Smash team just won the state championship 2 weekends ago in his first year. Their goal was, they want to give back to those high school or elementary age kids, and they run high school programs at Southwood and North Miami high schools now. All right. But yeah, it's a wide variety. Any other questions before I continue? It's a lot, yeah. Just wait till they start showing you games. My shameless advertisement is we do host an esports summer camp. So if you have grandkids or great-grandkids that are interested in esports, we have a day camp for rising 3rd through 6th graders on June 14th, and then a 3-day, 2-night camp June 13th through 15th for 7th through 12th graders. If you have any questions, get in contact with me. All right, advertisement over. We also do broadcast out all of our matches. If you guys are familiar with YouTube, we do stream all of our matches to YouTube, just like Gary streams these sessions out to probably other residents. So if you ever want to watch our matches live, we're done for the season this year, but we'll start back up next fall. You just go to MU Esports on YouTube, and you can watch all of our old games or any of the ones as we're playing. We usually have commentators that'll play the games. You'll be able to spectate them, try to figure out what they're doing. All right. We also stream on Twitch, which is a video game streaming service, and then our Twitter or X is where we broadcast out all of our different like commit announcements, win graphics, just more fun stuff to engage with the esports community. All right, and I'll hand it over to Ben.
Hi everyone, so my name is Benjamin Schlarb. My in-game name is Kua, and I am from Findlay, Ohio. My name is Benjamin Schlarb. I am from Findlay, Ohio, and I went to Riverdale High School. I am a second year at Manchester University, majoring in business management and sport management with a minor in esports management. For the university, I play Valorant, Rocket League, and Overwatch. So a little bit about what esports has done for me. It has given me direction and purpose. So from being around great people like Garrett and our coaches, I've decided that I want to be an esports coach at the collegiate level when I graduate. It's also given me passion and excitement. So I wake up every day and I'm ready to play the game, ready to be around friends and family. So in traditional sports, you play with your friends, you play with your family, maybe brother. For example, my brother is up there on the screen. He's the one on the right. So he actually came to Manchester University this year, and we compete on the esports team together. Some things that I've learned: consistency is key to improvement. Output is always equal to input. If I want a desired output, I have to put in the same equal level of time and effort into it to be the best or whatever my goals would be. I learned how to be a better leader, like Garrett kind of touched on. Getting people together, motivating them, getting them closer. Also, to put myself first sometimes, so I'm a helper naturally. I like to help everyone that I possibly can, but sometimes it's at the cost of my own time and my own energy, and not that I need to never help anybody, but that I need to sometimes step away and say, hey, this is what I need to do for me. Some challenges: discipline, obviously, same kind of with consistency. Working on it. It's not quite there yet, but making sure that I eat right, go to the gym, focus on myself, mental health, whatever it may be. Effective communication, Garrett kind of touched on this as well. It's very important in esports to effectively communicate, making sure that I say everything quickly, concisely, and I'm not slow or stuttering, so that the information can get to my teammates and we can win rounds. Sometimes it's costly when we don't communicate effectively. Getting everyone on the same page. It's difficult, obviously, to get everyone on the same page in a team. Everyone has different goals, different desires, so kind of getting everyone towards a common goal is difficult, but we're working on it. Some goals for the future. So I play Valorant. Radiant is the top rank, and that's where I want to get. It's top 500 in North America, so that's the goal by the time I graduate. Win the GLEC. So that's our conference. Win GLEC and then go to CECC, the Nationals, would be a dream of mine. And then learning how to effectively manage a team. Like I said, want to be an esports coach or director, so making sure that I learn how to effectively manage a team by the time I graduate to be able to go pursue those jobs or wherever it may be, graduate assistant jobs. That would be great. So here I'm going to try and break down a gameplay clip of mine. Hopefully it pauses when I want to. Okay, there we go. So I just kind of want to explain a little bit of what Valorant is to help you guys understand a little bit better. It's not paused, hold on. Okay. All right, so just kind of an overview of Valorant. Oh man. There we go. So an overview of Valorant. So Valorant is a 2-team, 5 versus 5 tactical shooter, with the winning team having to obtain 13 rounds. One team is on defense with their goal to plant the spike at one of the 3 sites. So you can see a big A, a B, and a C on the map. That's the offense goal, is to go and plant the spike. The defense is there to stop the enemy team from planting the spike, and at halftime both teams will switch. My team is on the left side of your screen. We're the green team with 7 points, the 7 indicating 7 rounds won. And the red team is the enemy team with 12 rounds won. So they have 1 more round to win before they win the entire map. So now what you're looking at right now is a big map. I am currently looking at it, communicating with my teammates where they should push out, where we should hold, where I'm kind of envisioning the other team going to which site, which is B site. And right now I'm doing all of that, waiting for any indicators to show up on the map so that way I can communicate it to my team, and eventually I'm on C site right now. And right here, pause it for a second. I'm on C site, like I said. I'm about to move to the B site because that big red horizontal line at the top left of the screen is an indicator. It's a powerful ability that the enemy has to easily take the site. So I'm going to, within a second, I'm going to decide I'm going to move over to the B site to help my teammates and hopefully win the round. Right here, you can see on the screen this big purple, blue-ish orb circle is called a smoke. So I will get into the smoke. This smoke allows me to have cover. It hides me from anybody that could potentially see me from the outside. If they were to come in, they could see me, but on the outside, they cannot. And right now, my teammates are communicating to me that the one is on the left side. She's about to blind the planner. So there's no audio on the video, but you would hear a sound cue, an audio cue that would tell you the enemy is planting the spike. And she calls out to me, hey, I'm going to blind the planner. And so what the blind does is it hinders their ability to see. So when I swing the smoke, like I'm about to right now, right here, so that little gray kind of mist above their head is the blind that she just threw, so they can't see. So I swing out of the smoke, I get my first one, my first elimination, and then my second elimination. And now we're up numbers, so I'm gonna go back into the smoke and hide for a second because there's no pressure on us. And on your top right of the screen, you can see the the full red line with the butterfly in the middle. This is a character called Clove, and just like the red indicator was the powerful ability for one player on the enemy team, this is her most powerful ability, and it brings her back to life. So I just eliminated her. Now she's back to life, and she's from game knowledge and playing the game for so long, I'm the only position that she could successfully eliminate because she has a timer right now. So she has about 12 seconds to eliminate anybody on our team, and she'll be able to stay in the round for the rest of the round until she's eliminated again. But right now, she's on a timer. So the only logical place for her to go is to come after me because she knows where my position's at. So she's, in this next part, going to walk into the smoke. And because of teamwork and how the game works out, she'll probably, most likely, in my mind, have someone with her. So I'm prepared for 2 people about to walk into the smoke. So I'm patiently waiting. This first person that was glowing, that I just eliminated, was Clove again. And you can see the legs in the top left of the screen. This is her teammate coming to essentially trade her or eliminate me back, so that way the numbers go back to being even. Now the team is just playing cleanup, and I'm about to swing the corner and see the other opponent. He's trying to escape and get off the site, so that way he can play time, win the round, whatever. So this leads our team to getting a round win. It puts us to 8, so our score that was 7 is now 8. and I just aced the round, which means you either eliminate everyone on the enemy team or you get 5 kills in a given round. So that's what just happened. That was kind of the clip, the gameplay. Is there any questions about me or Valorant or anything? Everyone confused? Yeah, I could play it through full speed.
What skills, I mean, what employment opportunities are with these kind of skills?
So, like I kind of touched on, my experiences with the game. So, any way that a football coach plays football probably throughout their entire life is going to be a football coach. I could do the same thing and be an esports coach or director like Garrett. So we have employed coaches that help us get better at the game. They're usually high-level players in their titles. I am looking to do the same thing. So I have one of my esports professors, actually, he is started a program at Spalding University in Louisville, Kentucky. And he's going to have a graduate assistant job up in the next couple years. So when I graduate, I'm hoping to go there and learn how to coach even more while getting my master's degree, and then hopefully do what Garrett does or any of our coaches do. And that would be kind of my job or future for the next 10 years. Yes, so Clay plays Smash. He has a controller. Ours is a keyboard and mouse. So like a desktop computer, keyboard and mouse, that's what we use. A little bit different technology. It's more advanced, different things, but I won't get into all that. It's a keyboard and mouse, basically. So that's what we use. That's what I'm using here. So my mouse moves side to side, and that's how I maneuver different, moving left and right. I'm in first person, so my vision, so you would move right and left and look around. That's how I'm doing with my mouse. And then my keyboard, I'm using keys to move and walk. So.
The mouse moves your head around, like you move your neck, and the keyboard moves your feet around. And there's also like the different abilities, and then to shoot the gun, you just press the button on the mouse. So well, when he has his gun up, there's a small little crosshair right in the middle. That's where oh my God, yours is really small.
Yeah, they probably can't see it. Mine's a little dot.
So that's where we'll go. So a lot of the skill of this game is keeping your mouse very accurate in the middle. That's the hardest part of this game. And I mean, you talk about the skills that he gets. We muted the team communication because they're yelling and screaming the whole time. But all this information that Ben receives, like play it back. It happens
Yeah.
in 5
This
seconds.
clip is 40 seconds.
The whole clip is 40 seconds, but the action is really quick. So
Yes.
all those things that Ben is taking in the information, processing it, making a really quick decision. He's communicating with his team the whole time. The whole team's communication. Like he talked about his teammate was
Yeah.
talking to them. The teammate's communicating. They're timing it right. So those types of like communication skills, quick decision making is very important, and just overall confidence.
Yeah.
Just knowing that hey, like I can do this. I can make these quick decisions. I can make these plays. Even if you're not playing video games in real life, the confidence helps you out.
Are these skills then that a surgeon might use in an operation?
I mean, the
Potentially.
hand-eye coordination, yes, but I mean the surgeons won't use a mouse. Usually, there's not much overlap there.
Yeah. It's more or less it trains your hand-eye coordination, which would then in turn help you be a better surgeon, if you will. So that was, yeah, yeah.
But it's more of the soft skills that benefit them later on.
Are there any other questions or anything like that? All right, I'm going to hand this over to Clay.
Hello, I'm Clay Stoltz. My in-game name is Duck190. I'm from Carmel, Indiana. I went to Carmel High School. I'm a sophomore here at Manchester. I'm a major in software engineering with a minor in esports management, and my game is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So esports has improved my life in many ways. It's made me more social. Growing up, my whole life I was kind of reserved to myself. I wasn't very social, but playing esports in high school and in college has made me a lot more social and I've made a lot of friends and have had a lot of great opportunities because of it. It's also given me a competitive outlet for myself my whole life. I have enjoyed competition, but I have asthma, so I can't really play traditional sports, which I can play in competitive format through esports. And it's also boosted my confidence a lot, as Garrett was kind of saying earlier. Like, having the confidence in my gameplay and my ability has caused me to be more confident in my day-to-day life. Like with my schoolwork, but just in myself, I've been a lot more confident since partaking in esports. Some highlights as I said earlier, have been the friends I've made. I've made these lifelong friends that I would do anything for. A couple of them, I'm going to some of their weddings this year. Like 2 of my friends I made through esports, I'm going to their weddings this year. One of them I'm a groomsman for. And another highlight has been going to Texas twice for the Nationals, CECC. That has been probably like the best trip of my life both times. It's been so much fun to hang out with my friends, compete on the big stage in Texas, and just have a lot of fun. Some personal struggles I've had through esports one of them has definitely been my mentality. After some hard losses, I'm usually like down on myself a lot, but through the help of my friends, teammates, even like Garrett and all that, I've been a lot more better about losses, and then also not wanting to let my teammates down. A lot of times my teammates depend on me, and that can like not harm me, but weigh me down a lot. But I've been working really hard on improving those. So I'm going to show you a gameplay clip here from this was from the grand finals of our GLEC back in April. Yeah, in April. This is us against Cleveland State. I'm the character with the image on the bottom left. His name is Diddy Kong, and I'm fighting against the robot Rob. So how Smash Bros. Works as a game is it's one-on-one. You have 3 lives each, and you want to be the first one to get rid of your opponent's 3 lives. And so how you do that is by attacking them. And by attacking them, you can see there's percentages at the bottom. The higher percent you are, the farther you get knocked back. Like the farther you get sent from an attack. And then if you get sent off the screen, you'll get eliminated, causing you to lose one of your lives. And how we play collegiately is kind of like high school wrestling, where you have groups of like these teams, and then you send one-on-one, but a little differently than high school wrestling. Say our guy wins against their guy, they'll send their next guy to fight our same guy. So, and that can be seen at the top with scores 5-1. We have 5 remaining lives, they have 1 remaining life. So say we send our first guy in and he wins the match with 1 life, they'll send their next guy in and he has to fight him with his 1 life. So let me start showing you some of the gameplay. So right here, my main goal right now is not to get eliminated, not to lose this life. So each character in the game has about like 20 or so moves that I have to be ready for at all moments. And so right here, I use this barrel move where I put on my barrel like jetpack almost. And I just want to get as far away from Rob as fast as possible, and which I do so. And so now that we're kind of like in a more even positioning, my main goal from pattern recognition throughout the match against Rob is that he likes staying up. You can kind of see those flat lines above where we're standing. He likes to play a lot from up there. He's very comfortable up there from playing him this match. So my goal is I kind of want to use that against him. And so I'm trying to get him to go up there so I can throw him. I have a banana move where I can summon a banana and slip my opponent. So my goal right now is to get him on there so I can slip him with my banana and use a strong move to kill him. So right here, I get him into the air. I'm trying to, oh, oops. Oh, sorry, I'll just play it through again. So I get him into the air, I'm trying to catch him, and then right here is my perfect opportunity where I throw the banana upwards at him, and I use my strong attack to eliminate him to win the game, to put us up 2-0 against Cleveland State and the Grands of GLEC. And yeah. Let me pass it back to Garrett.
Yeah. So we wanted to show you guys at least a little bit of the gameplay of the games. Like I said, we have 6 different games. Those are just 2 of them, Valorant and Super Smash Bros. All of them are completely different, take a different skill set, are different in setup and execution. But all of them are fun. They're all team-based, and they're all very difficult to perform at a high level like these guys do. A lot of people think that being good at esports is easy. You're just hitting buttons in a random order. There are hundreds of things going through their minds in these really quick moments that they have to make the right decision. And even if they make the right decision, they can miss or be inaccurate or whiff on something and be punished for it. So they have to practice, hitting the shot. Like in basketball, you can practice threes all day, but you're still going to miss a few, right? It's just that same repetition to make sure you hit more often when you're in the game. And obviously when you're competing is always different than practice. It's always working on nerves, performing under pressure. Clay talked about letting down teammates. There's times where even Ben may be put in the situation where everyone on his team has been eliminated except for him, and everyone's watching, and it's up to Ben to win the round for us. That's pressure put on Ben, and Ben has to perform, and Clay has to perform under that pressure. And like Clay said, once you're under that pressure so often, you get used to it. And they'll be under that pressure at work, in careers, relationships, life. And there's things like Clay, if you're able to do this stuff with like hundreds of people watching you, like watching your every move, don't mess up, and you win and you get it, like what's a job interview? Like who cares? It's nothing to you, right? You've done this crazy stuff with all this pressure. What's a first day of work? What's a first date? Who cares, right? You've had all these things beforehand. All right, so. Real things learned from esports. That is the end of my presentation. Does anyone have any other questions for me or Clay or Ben?
The games look very violent. Do you have games that aren't violent?
They're not too violent. I mean, most of them are combat fighting others. There's a game called Rocket League, which is basically car soccer, like RC cars, where you're controlling a car, you have to knock a ball into a goal.
That's violent.
Technically, you can blow up the other cars if you run into them fast enough. But that's really it. Valorant does have guns. Overwatch also has guns. But we drew the line as a university at making things realistic or militarized. So those games with guns that we do play are more fantasy-based. So Ben in that clip, he's not shooting an AK-47. He's shooting a Vandal. What's a Vandal? It's a made-up gun. It's not real. It doesn't exist. One of the characters throws up a giant flame wall. The other one flies around and throws smoke bombs at you. They're not realistic. You're not playing as the U.S. Army versus the Russians or something like that. There are games like that that are very militarized and bloody and violent like that nature. We don't play those in our esports programs. We can't endorse those officially. They can play them in their rooms for fun on their own. We can't control that. But no militarized games, no realistic blood, gore, violence, any of that we don't participate in. Yep. Any other questions? Do you have a question? Yeah.
When you go to tournaments,
Mm-hmm.
you go as a particular team to play a particular a specific game.
Yes. Yes. So because our Super Smash Bros. Team won the Great Lakes Esports Conference, they were able to go to Texas. We just took our varsity Super Smash Bros. Team. So myself and those 6 varsity players went to Texas. We qualified for that event. If the Valorant team wins Grand Finals, I will then take the Valorant team. Think of us as an athletics program that has all those different games. You wouldn't expect the football team to go to the baseball championship because the baseball team won. You take the baseball team to the baseball championship. We'll take the Smash team to the Smash championship. So that's how that works. And the more success the teams have, the more they win, the more they qualify for, and the more they travel.
the regional one and the national one.
Yes.
It's not the NCAA.
Nope.
What is the relationship? Is there a financial relationship to each of those?
We pay dues to each of those two conferences to compete. Esports is, since it's so new, the competitive environment is like the Wild West. It's crazy. Stuff changes all the time. And individual esports teams can decide which conferences to participate in. So I can say, NACE, I'm not liking how it's been going. I want to switch to a different conference. And I don't have to get board permission. I can just do that. But I like NACE because it gives us that large national conference. We have a lot of JV teams. We have 110 kids, right? They can't all be varsity players. We have a lot of JV teams that will compete against other schools' JV teams in NACE, and it makes it really worthwhile for us. It's like $2,500 to be in NACE for the whole year, and it gives us like 30 games a week across the program. And then GLEC, we like that one because it's the opposite of NACE. NACE is all online for JV teams. GLEC simulates that regional conference like the HCAC that Manchester has. So we build rivalries. Like we don't like playing against Bethel University and Tiffin. Tiffin's on our list. We have a rivalry with these teams. We don't like playing against them. We don't really care for each other too much. Right? There's still the respect, the sportsmanship, but you know when Bethel comes on screen, you're like, all right, like we got to lock in and beat Bethel today, right? You can't let Bethel win. So it's that kind of regionality, competitiveness. We compete for the same high school recruits. So there'll be a high school senior, and he's like, oh, do I go to Bethel or do I go to Manchester? I'm like, come to Manchester, right? And Bethel's saying the same thing, go to Bethel. So it's all that regionality fun, and that's kind of those same components to traditional athletics that we kind of get through the GLEC and esports.
Are there a lot of dictates that come from them that you have to follow?
Not as many as you'd think. They are pretty lenient. Rules like every student on your team must be a full-time student of the university. And the GLEC, you must be an in-person student. You can't take majority of your classes online. You have to be in good academic standing for all of the leagues. I think that's really it. You have to receive some sort of financial compensation for NACE to participate as a conference or a school in NACE. But that's really it. Like some of our NACE competition, there's probably 4 to 5 schools in the country that give out full rides to esports players. Most of those players come from the professional level down. It's weird because you wouldn't think like LeBron James would come play collegiate basketball, but the LeBron James of Valorant is probably 17 years old right now, right? They're young. So they can play professionally, graduate high school, and then come back to college, and they're college aged. So it's a very different world than traditional athletics would be. But it's adapting and changing every year. Yes? Not at the moment, no. So Manchester does not have a game development program. There are a couple colleges that are. It's actually something that the university has discussed, is creating an academic game development program. But right now we just have software engineering, which is more focused on, databases, or I actually don't know. You'd be more, I'm not a software engineering professor. But yeah, building programs from the ground up on the back end, not particularly for video games, but it's something we could branch off to into the future. Any other questions? Yeah.
Each team specializes in a certain, each team is a particular game.
Yes.
Specialize in. How many players are there on each team?
So for like starters, for Super Smash Bros, it's 4-on-4. So 4 starters, usually a couple subs. A game like Rocket League is 3-on-3. Overwatch and Valorant and League of Legends are 5-on-5, and then Fortnite usually is a team of 2 or a team of 3. And 99% of our players will just play one game. They will focus on that one game. Now we have an exception here, Ben Schlarb. This guy's just really good at games overall. So he's played on 3 varsity rosters. He's one of our only 2 in history of Manchester that's played on 3 different varsity rosters. Just like someone's, super naturally gifted at, the athletic. Yeah, you're probably good at basketball and football and track, right? Just because you're athletic. Ben's just really good at video games, so he's really good at those 3. But he does still put a lot of time into those games as well. Clay plays different games for fun, but definitely more of a Super Smash Bros. Specialist. Very good at Super Smash Bros. Too. Insane. All right.
Are these games to develop quickness, or are
It's both. You have to have both to be good at these games. Like you can be, it's called, the quickness is what we call in esports mechanics. How accurate can you be with a mouse and keyboard or with your controller? That's a huge part of the game. That's half of it. And then the other half is that communication, that decision making. Like if you're a basketball player, you could be 6'8", be able to jump out of the gym and still ride the bench because you can't shoot a ball and you make terrible decisions, right? Same thing in esports. You can be really gifted at mechanics, but the moment you're in a game, you can't operate within a team, so you don't play. And it can be vice versa. You could be the smartest player in the world, but you're a 5'2" basketball player. You're probably not going to play too much because you don't have that natural talent of that aim or mechanics within your game. So you kind of have to have both to be able to compete at a high collegiate level. And there are things that you work on at both times too. Obviously height doesn't matter in esports, right? But yeah, you have to practice your mechanics usually individually, and then during official team practices when you're working with your team, getting that team chemistry, making sure you're on the same page, playing all at the same speed, making the right decisions together. And not everything will go right. Like in Ben's clip, we were losing that game. It's a struggle with the team. Like when you're losing, guys will get down, they'll just stop talking. They might even start getting mad at each other, start quipping at each other a little bit, saying some rude things. It's Ben's job as captain in that chat to be like, hey, knock it off, focus, what's next? Like after this round, like what do we do? Get your mind right, refocus, keep playing. Because another really weird thing about esports is while they're in match, we're not allowed as coaches to talk to them, right? There is no basketball coach yelling out plays in the middle of a game like in basketball. Once the game starts, I have to sit back and just cheer and be quiet. So there's a couple of games where I can like take a timeout and talk to them for 10 to 15 seconds, but most of it's like, all right, like Ben, good luck, you got it. And Ben's making shot calls and plays and he's leading the team that way. Just like a real coach would in athletics, just because of the nature and the rules of esports. So there's a lot to it, and it's fun. Any other questions? Yeah. Right. I didn't talk about that. We, as Manchester Esports, also host the largest Super Smash Bros. High school tournament in the state. We had almost 300 players from across the Midwest come to Manchester University and compete in person in that tournament. It's a double elimination tournament playing Super Smash Bros. The last game that you guys saw, and we gave scholarships to the top 8 players that placed at that tournament. We make it free for all kids. We give them free lunch. Their only cost is their transportation there and back. For a lot of these kids, this is their Super Bowl of the year. It's the biggest event of the year. They get really nervous and excited. Great way for them to branch out, meet friends, play the game that they love, and possibly win some scholarship money to Manchester. So that always takes place the weekend before Thanksgiving every year. Yeah, it's called Spartan Showdown. If you ever want to come and watch, Saturday before Thanksgiving, we host it up in the upper JYSC above the cafeteria. Fun time. Can be loud and sometimes a little smelly. But we try to combat that as much as we can. Yep. Like if you wanted to watch it at the Spartan Showdown, you'd be able to watch it on a screen that size playing. Like the kids would have their own little screens that they're playing on. It'd be projected up there. Our matches that we stream, you can pull up on a phone, laptop, computer, any other device that has connection to the internet. You could watch it there too. Yep. A lot of kids' parents will watch too from home. I know, I don't know if Ben's parents watch too much. They do. They don't comment in the chat. Clay's parents are always in the chat cheering him on, saying, let's go Duck 190. And I think your mom's name is Mama Duck 190, and your dad's is Papa Duck 190. So, yeah, it's kind of like it's like your online alter ego. Like it's just what people know you through by. Like my gamer tag is Tower of Toast, which I made when I was in 6th grade and never changed. And now I'm known professionally by some as Tower of Toast. So, yeah, it's weird. And a lot of kids I will know by their gamer tag before I know their name. Like Clay, I knew him as Duck 190 for years when he was in high school, and then he applies to come to Manchester, and I'm like, Duck, what's your actual name? Like, it's not going to say Duck 190 on your college application. Oh, your name's Clay? Like, that's crazy. So, yeah, it's just kind of what you're known by in the esports world. And you can make it whatever you want. Some are funny, some are a reference to your past, some you've had since you were, well, you made yours when you were what? how old? 8. Yeah, you've had yours since you were 8. Ben's has evolved over time a little bit. Yeah, it's just whatever you want to call yourself. Any questions? Others? These are some really good questions. All right, does anyone want to play a game? We brought Super Smash Bros. It's a one-on-one game, so we just need 2 players. It's really easy for beginner players to play. There's just 2 characters, and your goal is to just run at and hit the other character. We'll give you a controller, we'll give you a rough idea what the buttons do, and you can just hit the buttons. It's kind of fun. I got my grandparents to do it a few years ago, and they were getting into it. They were like yelling at each other, like, I'm gonna kick your ass, you know, like that kind of thing. My grandma's saying that. I've never heard her cuss in my life. She got into playing Super Smash Bros. So, yeah, 2 volunteers to play Super Smash Bros. Come on. You 2? Both? Or just one? Just one? We need a competitor. I don't want to have to sick Duck 190 on you. He's pretty good. One more. Gary? You have a tech background, Gary. Gary. Oh, yeah, it can be afterwards. It's just for fun. Get to see the game played in person. And that's what, in the end, like the competitiveness, the scholarships aside, games are fun. They bring people together. Even if you're not familiar with the game, it's still a good time just to goof around and try something new. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.